All right, welcome back. We tell you, say, Papa Jojo, they always give us some big language, words every morning. Now, you call this one the muscle, what do you call them again?
I don't forget. It's how they build muscle. And I hope there's something that we don't watch and don't build some kind of small muscle this time.
I'm telling you, but thanks a bunch, Papa Jojo. Now, you don't see our guests when we get inside the house. Just to give you a little bit profile about this particular distinguished woman where we get in our midst. Now, she, now seasoned educationist with the Federal Ministry of Education, Lagos, Nigeria. She be biology and integrated science teacher for inside King's College, Lagos, a college where you get, we know, say, when we talk about King's College now, the highly favored students that we actually refer to. And she be teacher from 1983 to 2003, a period of 20 years. Now, apart from that, she be there among the team where research and formulate the curriculum for the gifted program of the Federal Ministry of Education. She's now the first science teacher to pioneer students of the gifted program at inception when they actually host them for inside King's College, Lagos. And apart from that too, she recently completed her 4th book. This one she go launch on her 60th birthday and retirement from the services of the Federal Ministry of Education on the 3rd of May 2018. And she go also do Thanksgiving. Now, just for you to still know, say, this woman will get inside the house. She now also the founder and chairperson of The Wife. Yes, The Wife, now a body of married women with a burden and mission of building excellent homes to transform our society. Join me, welcome Dr. Mrs. Nkem Okoro inside the Good Morning Nigeria studio. Good to have you, ma.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, ma. Well, if to say we say we want to read everything we get about you, the show no go finish. We go to read them, we go.
You've done so much.
Yes,
so much.
We see that you've done so much in the education sector in the past. For 20 years, where you don't teach, and even up until now, I will not say you don't do so much. But first of all, I want to quickly start with with education before we go further to the books and other of your achievements. Between the period of 1983 and 2003, when you've been there teach, which kind of changes you notice, strategic changes you don't notice, and even up until now, both positive and some negative changes where you don't notice inside the education sector in Nigeria here?
Society knows that we have tremendous changes. It's huge. The most pathetic and painful is exam malpractice, where you will think that stakeholders will be concerned, but it's unfortunate that most of the time parents are involved in encouraging and helping their children to participate in malpractice. And that's one. Another one, like I taught biology for years. I remember in the early years of my teaching experience in King's College, before I come out for any biology practical, the lab would have been well set with specimen well displayed. Some of the specimen, you even have them one per student, but some others maybe you will share one between 2. But now, to get specimen in schools to teach is really a problem. I remember after some years, I started asking students to help out, and I did. I will carry specimen from my house to school, things like food items, tomatoes, eggs, yam, when you are doing such practicals. But after some time, to think about it with the nature of teaching job, the type of salary teachers have, how will you be investing from your manageable resource, let me just put it that way, to be financing and providing what you will need in a professional environment. So I stopped. At times I'll ask students to get from home, but that became a big problem. You can ask 10 students, one person gets an egg, another 10 students get coconut, another 10 students get onions, and out of that, you might end up coming for the practical session. Nobody would have brought something. At times, one will bring. But the bad aspect was the impression from parents, especially one that was like, oh, Mrs. Okoro looks so glorious. So it's our children that brings things. She will ask for egg. Can you imagine where every student gets an egg for her? She will be really okay to go on with life. So I had to stop that. And you imagine the problem where you'll be teaching practical sessions with no specimen to show, except for preserved specimens we have in the lab already.
Wow.
So I noticed that the trend started dropping. It showed in the quality of students that are produced, not just in federal or even in private schools. It started dropping. Then I used to be an external candidate in marking WAEC. You notice the drop. Questions, when we get to the centers, marking centers in those days, you handle some schools, everybody is really credit and above. Then recently you get there, when you are marking, you are wondering, were they ever taught? Were they ever taught?
But what about the quality of teachers? Now, you mentioned, first of all, you said examination malpractice. Now, one of the problems we face in our educational sector. And now parents, now they actually aid and abet the student to actually involve in examination malpractice. What about the teachers? Because we find in some cases, even the teachers, we're supposed to impute good knowledge in these children, they actually help them to be involved in examination malpractice.
That is not to the extent that we have it among people that are not in the education sector. I would say that most teachers stand out for students to really come out and show forth what they have been taught. But coming to the teachers' involvement, when we started having this drop in our educational sector, it started with my friends in Lagos State schools. I asked them, what's happening to your students? You know, I am in federal. They said, we don't know. These are really quality classmates. We were all in the university together. They said they don't know. And people started saying parents are not present at home. Absenteeism of parents to really monitor and supervise their children academically. Like when we were growing up, our parents work, but in the evenings, when they come back, our father will ensure that you've done your homework. He will even go further, take some extra pains and steps to teach us some concepts. Like me, I'm a flyer then. So I'm one of the people that are dismissed to go and sleep. But I have some of my siblings. They will be there solving mathematics with daddy. I will be peeping from the keyhole to know what is happening with them and daddy in the sitting room. But today, parents are not there.
You're not involved.
When they come back from work, they are fagged out, especially with Lagos factor, traffic, and all of them. And at times, I imagine, how do people cope? Leave very early, come back very late, leave very early the next day. Children don't get to see their parents, and it's a whole lot of problems. And I think so many of them, factors, no electricity, no light for students, children to study, all of them have contributed to the problem.
Very true. So because if we talk more about educational sector, we will highlight almost all the problems where they happen. Even to the quality of teachers, I'm very concerned about that, because even in Kaduna State, some teachers not feel you actually read. But let's just leave that aside. Let's just leave that, because you came here to actually tell us more about your books.
Exactly.
Tell us about Abi.
Yeah, we'll start from the latest one, I believe.
Yes.
This one, yes.
That's the
this is the manuscript that we have here. The wife. That's the
name of the ministry I founded to train and empower married women to be the best of mothers and the best of wives, excellent women indeed.
How can they be the best of mothers and wives? Because we see a lot of books talking about woman, be a good woman, be a good wife, but we see less of books talking about how men should be good husbands.
All right. At times, we have programs where we encourage the women to bring and come along with their husband. And they do. When your husband sees the work we are doing, they're encouraged to come. Like I had a program for couples. The hall was filled up at Golden Gate. Eldo Hiweri, that came as one of the speakers, he said, Dr.Nkem Okoro, where do you get all these men from? I said, they are wives, because they've seen the impact on their wife. And they're like, we have to come and know this lady. And most of the women will tell me that anytime the wife have programs, the husband will say, please go, because they've really seen all that the women bring back home, the change in attitude, the ability to be the best and give the best to the home.
Yes, yes. Okay, so please tell us more about the book so far. We know we'll get a chance to go through all the pages right now. So the book is titled Blissful Marriage, right? A self-help resource. Am I correct, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, tell us a little bit about the book.
All right, it's actually on marriage. Then the next aspect, a self-help resource, is a material you get on your own, and it will help to give you all the information, the skills that you need to have a happy and stable marriage. So, and it is based on the principles of the originator of marriage. Like we all know that God, when he created human beings, created them male and female. And he brought the woman to the man, and the man was excited. Wow, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. And it's supposed to be glorious and happy union. But today, what do we see? Even some people are afraid to get married. I have had some young people telling me, with the experience and everything we've seen so far, I'm not sure I'll get in.
Well, don't go too far. Touched. Like my amazing colleague here is one of them.
One of them.
But let's go on.
One of them that did one.
Please, you must have a copy of this book. By the time you go through a help self-resource for blissful marriage, you change your mind. In short, they will be begging you to, like my pastor will say, you have to come and show that you have accommodation. You have money to maintain a wife. You have at least a stove and a mattress in your room before you can get married. You'll be part of that group that is really forcing yourself into the institution to have. We'll
do that, and I will drag my producer along.
No, he has to be there. He has to be there. But
I will drag my
a lot of people actually feel like my co-presenter here is an amazing person. Now, I actually feel you need to have a certain amount of money for you to have a blissful marriage. Does this book actually talk about finances?
Thank you. We have an aspect on financial management for the family. And you heard what I said, the standard that my GO, that's Pastor Wala Defarasi, and my husband that prepares people for marriage, Pastor Sam Okoro, will ask for. They'll say at least a room comfortable enough for a young lady, a stove, a mattress. Do you get what I'm saying? People started that way. Today, they're really wealthy families. So we talked about financial management. How can you cope in this economic recession period where prices are high, things are very expensive? So we opine that one pay packet cannot make it. So most of the time, the husband and the wife are encouraged to find something to do, to bring in resources to the family. And we encourage women not to pocket their own income and just look out to squander and enjoy their husband's income.
My own is my own.
But theirs is my own is my own. So we said it doesn't work that way. And then we look at the originator of marriage. He said, I will make a helpmeet for the man. So a woman, a wife, is supposed to be a suitable helper to the husband in every area. Even with the small resources you gather from your business, from your work, you support your husband and you make the family happy.
I like that.
So it's very important.
So don't make a fuss about supporting your husband. Now you need to get all those books. I see Enriching Marital Touchlighting. I see What the Land Has Done, one of the books where you don't actually write. I see Grooming the Next Generation, Effective Parenting and Mentoring of Children. And I see this particular one, Blissful Marriage, a self-help resource. Now you need to actually get this book. Launching of your fourth book, you say you want to do one big. Celebrate your 60th birthday. Are we invited?
Everyone is invited. Actually, I dedicated it to King's College, Lagos, because they made it worthwhile. Since I'm retiring and I have this book to present to the public, I appreciated the 20 years I spent in the college. And I'm also inviting all other people, and it's happening on my 60th birthday, exactly the day I'm going to retire from Federal Ministry of education services. So I'm inviting everybody to a Thanksgiving service and celebration, and then the book launch.
So Thanksgiving and food.
Yes, and
So
it's
tell us
in
the
a
food
church.
menu. Tell us the
All
food.
right, Guiding Light Assembly in Parkview Estate, Ikoyi. Everything is happening there, and the time is 11 a.m. So I appreciate all the people that have had anything to do with me, whether in training as wife, training as couples, teaching in schools, and I've also taught in 2 other schools, though for a brief period. Guest High School, Amenyoka, and the Mekia Dolo College of.
Oh, you schooled in Ekiadolo.
Yes.
My mom actually taught there too. In
All right,
yes,
I did my youth service there, and I taught there when it was teacher training college.
Yes,
that
my
was,
mom actually did.
What's the name? Maybe
we have to check behind the scene. You might know her. You might know her. Now, just the last question for me: would you consider yourself a good wife?
Excellent wife, not just good. My husband is there to testify. And
Let's
my
call him.
friends are
We
there.
need to call you.
Excellent wife. My children also, they say it. But you can see it. Very happy. You can't give what you don't have.
Very true.
And because I have very happy and stable marriage, that's why I'm interested in impacting the same knowledge, the skills that are necessary to all and sundry.
This is amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much for gracing our set. Now, how can people get your books? Are they online or shops, bookshops?
All right. We put in bookshops, and then you can order by calling me, or you can also go online.
Okay.
So
Where
we'll
online?
give more
What platform?
information on that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Well, very soon we're going to enter our new studios, and I don't hear everything concerning, Dr. and Mrs. Okoro and all the books she has brought. And particularly me, I did very, very thrilled by this particular one.
Grooming the next
look at the other generation.
No, you're already groomed. You have to look at this one. Blissful Marriage, a self-help resource.
We will get there. We will get there. Okay. But this grooming the next generation is very interesting to me, and this is one that I would encourage most people to look because, of course, the next generation is what we are looking towards. And you talked about education, the kind of decadence where we don't see inside education now. So we really have to prepare a better pathway for the next generation.
And the role of parents too, because parents now get a big role.
Very, very true. Very true. Once again, we would like to thank you for coming.
Yes.
For coming to and gracing our studios. And we hope, we go make the book launch eventually.
We have to. There's item 7.
The 60th birthday party, and of course, yes, and of course, the successful retirement.
Yes.
We would like to say
very, very big thank you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love am.